Well, howdy there, friends. Ted Nansen here from Ted Nansen's Used Car and Auto, and I'm here today to tell you that we're here raising money at Hack Attack 2019, benefiting Direct Relief. I almost said Doctors Without Borders. We got $4,615.40, and we're raising even more money, so get those donations in, and maybe you could come down to Ted Nansen's Used Car and Auto and get a used car or an auto. Some of them are used and some of them are autos, but they're all a great deal, so come on down. Back to you, Glitch Cat.
All right, well, thank you, Ted Nansen. We are still here, like you said, at Hack Attack, and we are getting ready for Super Stacey World. Our runner is Mr. Fink, and I'm going to turn it over to them. Let the couch introduce themselves. Take it away, guys.
Yo, thanks, Glitch. Yeah, my name is Mr. Fink, or short Fink. I'll be running this lovely hack today, and I have two very lovely people on my couch, and I'm just going to let them introduce themselves now.
Hello, I'm Dylan of Insanity. I made this hack, unfortunately for Fink.
And I'm White Moth. I've played this hack.
Yeah.
We're good to go?
That's about it. I'm good to go anytime.
Yeah, would you guys like me to count it down for you?
I would be very appreciated of this, man. Yes, please.
All
Do
right.
the honors.
All right, if you are ready, on go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Yes.
So kind of as an introduction to this hack was very heavily inspired by Kurosu, since that was the first hack that I had completed when I got into Mario World. It has like a mix of the Kurosu style mixed with the Mario Maker style. So the more item abusey as opposed to the strict platforming that Kurosu kind of provides. So how long did it take you to beat this the first time, Fink?
Hours, countless of them. Hours. I know the first level took me like 6 or 7 hours back in the day.
I think that Fink was planning on doing a $1 per death.
Oh yes, exactly.
$5 per one shot.
Yes, exactly. So best case is I die once in every level, and worst case is I die a lot.
I think we're at 2 so far.
Yes. Please keep count. This falling down this death labyrinth gave me the hardest time in the beginning, and it still does sometimes.
It's a tight little squeeze.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely a little tight right there. I remember when I first released the hack, Fink and Agathor were having a race, and was that quite the experience to watch?
Yes, it definitely was.
Well, if you need a little motivation right here at the start, we've got $5 from Replacement who says, Mr. Fink, can you please just do better?
Oh yeah, of course I can.
Exclamation point, Stacey.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So a theme that we'll see in the first at least few levels is I like to make the checkpoints unnecessarily hard to get. And in the speedrun sense, it will lose time usually. Not always, not every level, but some of them it will be slightly slower to get the checkpoints. But I believe Fink is going to get them all as a safety for sure.
Definitely am. Yes.
Yeah.
The first checkpoint's kind of scary to get. You have all the time in the world to set it up, but it still worries me.
Oh, come on. Vertical pipes, please. Oh. Vertical pipes.
And it was very unintended for that same fish to be used for 3 different attempts to kill the person, but that's something that happened.
Yeah, sure, unintended.
I've definitely lost count of how many deaths.
Oh, I hope chat does count. Oh, chat. Well, practice went way better today.
Yeah, I got a lot of slack for the vertical pipes in this hack. I feel like there's a decent amount of them.
Oh, there we go.
So Fink does a very dangerous strat there that I have a lot of respect for, but I cannot recommend doing that in a speed run, only because it's just it's so hard to line up with the chuck being so janky. Just naturally, it feels like it gives you a bit of trouble.
No
Uber's
favorite cheese.
Chaos. Oh, excuse me. The Uber's Chaos was 777 for a lucky bird.
Thank you so much, Ubers.
You can see at the beginning there, he kind of did an unintended strat with a shell. You're supposed to land on a great platform and jump off of that and do a shell jump, but he kind of just kicks the shell in midair.
Yeah, Dan G actually found that out in testing, and I thought it was cool, so I actually left it in. Because I thought it was really neat. There's a platform down there that you're supposed to land on.
I know. You told me about that the very first time I was playing.
So I don't know if Fink is actually going to hit the message box, but there's a message box later that I'll have some explanation for, because otherwise it's going to look really questionable when he just like slides through some things that he shouldn't.
There you go. Down, it's free. Don't mess this up, please. I'm not.
Trust the coins at the end. So most people, their first time through, did not trust me. And they return back, and that ground is actually fake, and you'd fall to your death. But the munchers are also fake, so you don't die to them if you trust them.
Yep.
I definitely
a little
did
bit
not
cheeky.
trust that.
Nobody trusted it. Like, very few people, I should say.
Favorite level.
So funnily enough, so this game was actually dedicated to Stacey, who is a viewer in Juz Cook's chat. She's kind of a prominent moderator there. And little did I know, I did not know this when I created this level and named it Amethyst Springs. Her favorite, or her like birth gem is an amethyst. So very much a coincidence there.
I find this to be like one of the harder levels in this game, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
This section, or section coming up, you're gonna have to do a lot of like manipulating of the Rip Van fish to get them like to be where you want them to be out of the way. It's very tricky to learn at first.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's an interesting speed strat that a lot of people don't realize, and obviously I'm the creator, so I have that insight knowledge, but there's actually a really interesting speed strat to get them to line up like really well with very little waiting, but it's fairly precise. And I think the music in this game in this level is Hazy Maze Cave. It's a little bit quiet, but it's Hazy Maze Cave from Mario 64. So this last little section is a bit precise. You have a little bit of a time limit here to get to the end before that before the timer runs out. Sorry. And it almost looks like you can hit the goal without the timer, but it won't be very successful.
It's just the true ending with the timer.
It's like chat wants us to get to 69, 69, 69.
Yes.
That's very important.
Yeah. Another thing that I personally find very interesting about this section is you might notice the torpedo teds. The first time you actually enter this section, they line up so that the upper one is more behind, so that you can just swim up all the way. Every consecutive time you enter this section, they line up differently, so you have to dive down between them.
I think that's just something to do with the way the retry system works.
Yeah, I think so. This has an older version of the retry that kind of has those oddities when you're not careful. I believe the newer version of the retry actually does not have that problem, if I remember correctly. Another fun fact about this game: the original 1.0 version did not have custom music,
Nice.
and when I went to add custom music, I realized I was using an incompatible version of Lunar Magic, so I had to upgrade my version of Lunar Magic, which basically required me to remake the game from scratch. And a few levels kind of broke completely from using a new version of Lunar Magic. This one had some weird problems with despawning that I had to work around, but a later level had a lot of problems with the rework, and I'll kind of call that out. So I think this level has probably my favorite music in the hack. It's from Star Tropics. Actually, it's the adventure theme, like the main adventure theme. And so this is kind of where the different routes split. If he wanted to do no Star World, or if he wanted to do 100%, he would take a hidden pipe, not really hidden, side section pipe off to the Red Switch Palace. That will take you into Star World. But for any percent, we don't take that route, which actually makes the rest of the levels a bit harder, because there's quite a few spots in levels, and there's one example with the blue switch blocks. Those would be filled if you did 100% first. So any percent levels get harder because you did not do the 100% levels.
Blade Pink. That's one of my favorite levels in the game right there.
Yes,
A lot
I
of
really
fun
like
playing.
that level. This level is very different in 1.2 compared to what it was in 1.1, mainly with the checkpoint. There wasn't actually a checkpoint in 1.0, and Dan G was actually one of the ones that convinced me to add a checkpoint right before the fishing boo section that's coming up. Which looks like Fink got cool. So yeah, there's actually an automatic checkpoint there, and they're not used to be in the original 1.0 version. So this level got a decent amount easier after that. I definitely think we forgot about counting deaths, but that's okay.
I always go back over the VOD.
Yeah, we'll go back over to that VOD.
One thing to note about this level is all of these tiles are actually solid, even though a lot of times you'd be able to go like up through those platforms from the bottom. You have to go around it in this hack.
Yeah, I definitely got a lot of slack for that, and I definitely it's one of the design decisions that I regret with this level. Was it's tough to do aesthetic with the vanilla graphics in the ghost house without trying to do some fancy stuff, because just the way that the blocks naturally are, you don't have a lot of options. You definitely see some really cool ones from people, but very hard.
Once you touch it once, then you know. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Nice boo fight.
Thank you.
And this level is questionable with its graphics. Please close your eyes.
No, this is beautiful.
I may or may not have ran out of ideas for an aesthetic in a level, and I was just like, what if we just put a lot of empty coin blocks?
There are definitely some nice aesthetics.
There's actually a little bit of a troll there. If you fully hold jump after that, right before the checkpoint, you will end up above the checkpoint and will be unable to get the checkpoint. It doesn't get very many people, but it does get a few, which is always really funny to see. And unfortunately for Fink, he will not be able to get the orb because he's doing any percent, so no orb for him. But you can get the orb if you're doing 100%. Another bonus of 100%.
The orb is pretty rude, I must say.
Yeah.
You like, finally make it to the end of the level and you're like, get the orb, and then you walk to your death.
You die like right before you would win. It's really saddening, actually. So this is actually one of my favorite levels. Moles in general are kind of jank, especially with the one block gap that Fink has to be careful of. But I feel like this is one of my favorite levels to create, just because it's interesting trying to get them to line up in a way that makes sense and actually flows well without becoming a problem later on. Oddly enough, I chose 2 moles at the beginning and then 1 mole in the second half, which seems a bit backwards, but it just kind of felt right. And of course, the jank hitbox of the lava there, you have to be a bit careful.
Yes, definitely. That corner is the size of Florida.
And this... Ooh,
was
that shell
unfortunate.
jump's hard. That shell jump is very awkward because of the momentum that the mole gives you. Another reason why I do 100%, so I don't have to do that. Don't have to do that shell jump. There you go. And then there's a little troll here that Fink is very well aware of, but it has gotten a lot of people.
Getting that chuck this section first try is very, very hard. At least for me. Also, Dylan, one thing I wanted to ask you, is it actually possible to be too fast here and despawn the mole?
I have never encountered that. I feel like there's certain things that require you to wait enough that I don't think it's possible to despawn them, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody could figure out a way to despawn them all.
One day.
See if he throws the block the right way. Yeah. Yeah, that mole will not actually be a problem in 100%, so I just make the game baby easy if you decide to do the 2 worst levels in the game. I have had many people message me about the final shell level in the game, and it was a questionable decision. Along with the graphics of this level. Close your eyes if you're afraid of the color pink, because there's a lot of pink.
It's beautiful.
I was actually going to make it less pink, but Laura Stars yelled at me to not make it less pink. So if someone does not like the pink, blame Laura Stars. Message her and not me.
Laura.
Don't blame Laura.
Never be mad at Laura.
And this part right here, you have to be a little bit careful not to get too far behind the Yoshi, because the Yoshi will just keep on going. Little dog will keep trucking, and he will not wait for you.
I thought Yoshi is a horse.
Well, you know what? In this level, for the sake of, in honor of Stacey's passing dog, I think it's a dog for this level. It's also why I don't let you kill him.
Fair enough.
I will not let you kill Yoshi in this level. You need him. Ooh, that pipe's a bit tricky because you only get 1 or 2 tries before that. What are those guys called? Those guys that shoot out the lightning?
The Sumo Brothers.
Sumo Bros.
Yeah, the Sumo Bro will just kind of just leave and leave you in the dust.
Evening Stompers.
But you leave Mega Scott. You leave him with in his home. This is his home. This is his palace. You don't want to take him out of his palace. His palace is a little bit overgrown. I think Stacey hasn't cleaned up his house in a while, but.
In vanilla, the Sumo Bros are always like standing on like concrete, and they do a little shimmy back and forth. But I think this one's on a 1F0. So when he does the shimmy, he just flies away. Funny looking.
It is really goofy when they just kind of like, I kind of want to leave. Oh, I guess we get an extra P-switch.
No! No! That's a
new way to die. That is a new way to die.
Only at Hack Attack.
Never happened before.
Yeah, can we get like multiple exclamation point Stacey's in chat, please?
Yes, please. I'm very deserving of this now.
Look at the beautiful Stacey's in chat. Feels so good. Now, Fink just really likes the color pink, so that's why he just wants to hang out in this level for longer.
Nope.
Oh, well, I guess he decided no more pink. We are done with the color pink. Well, I had mentioned earlier that the 1.2 making of this game broke a level. That's this next level, the first half. The first half was completely broken. I don't know what it was, but the way that platforms and lines worked was completely different, and I had to basically scrap it and try to just in the scrapping it just made it super easy compared to what it was. There's also some jank with the platforms, but the first half of this is just very disappointingly easy, and I just got so sad that I was just like, I'll just finish it. I'm done with this. But fortunately, the second half was left pretty much untouched with a few minor tweaks here and there.
Still my serious favorite level in the hack, because it just flows so well.
And I mentioned the Yoshi earlier. That was Little Dog. This one's not Little Dog. Not Little Dog. Okay.
This one might not live.
This one very much is not living. The reason this was named Stardew Valley is actually because Stacey was a big fan of the game Stardew Valley, so I figured it fit really well. I am 100% certain that one is not Little Dog.
It's the final level. 4-room castle.
So this level's a bit of a difficulty spike, it feels like, for the rest of the hack. You have to clear all the rooms in a row. A couple of them do get a little bit easier if you have the 100% blue Switch Palace, but not by a long shot. Like right here, he would not have to do this trick if he had it, which he nails, and then he has the infamous setup double shell down.
Oh, that was great.
And don't mind the ugly picture. That was. So the story of this game is Juz came in and took over Stacey's castle and put hideous photos of himself all over the place.
See, Fink exited the level there, started selected out, just so he could make sure he gets a consistent pattern for this Wendy fight.
And nice one shot.
And
Yeah.
time!
And I want to give a huge shout out here to Valdio for making the credits music for this hack for 1.2. I was so happy when I heard it the first time.
This song is an absolute banger.
You're on Fink. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thanks,
Good job.
guys.
We'll have to go back and count the deaths. And I think you had maybe 2 one-shots there.
Yes, the castle and
Stardew Valley, I think you one-shot as well. Didn't
No,
you?
not. Yes, Stardew Valley. So it's actually 3. So I also one-shot the coin block level, which I never one-shot usually. So
you did, yeah, I
that's-
forgot.
I never one-shot. That's 3 one-shots, and chat is hopefully gonna tell me how many deaths.
Also, special thanks to Chris, because Chris is just one of the best guys I've ever met, and I'm so happy that I got to meet him. And we need to get his butt to GDQ at some point. Everyone just needs to meet him for sure.
Absolutely. Glitch, are you talking? We can't hear you.
Oh no, I'm just waiting for you guys to give your shout outs and stuff.
Ah, okay.
We are. No, we're totally fine. We're right on schedule. That was a great run. Nice job.
Thank
We
you.
are currently sitting at $4,620.40 for direct relief, which is amazing. You guys are incredible. We're trying to get maybe to 69696969. See if we can pull that off. We've got a lot of exciting runs coming up. We've got the Joy of Kaizo next with Electronic Logic, the Girls of Kaizo Blind Race, Invictus, Quickie World, Takumi 5, and Zelda 2 Crowd Control, all coming at you right here. So if you guys don't have any other shout outs or anything, let everybody know where they can find you on Twitch.
1 or 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, big shout out to Dylan for making this, to Dylan and White Moth for commenting, to all of the ROMhack Races team, because I love you guys for doing this. And also, big shout out to Juz, because he's the one who got me into the whole Kaizo thing, and I wouldn't be here without his beautiful face. So, yeah, that's it. I hope we'll all have fun with the rest of the event. So far, it was an absolute blast, and I'm more than happy to be part of this. Thank you so much, Glitch.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. That was great. That was awesome, you guys. Thank you so much. We are going to take a short break, and we will come right back. We're going to have Electronic Logic running Beat the Devil % in the Joy of Kaizo, so stay tuned.